Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 60 and Beyond with Skylark on this April 6th, Monday night. Beautiful day today. It was really gorgeous. So I do this the first Monday of the month, and for all you new people, I created this vlog about probably 2 or 3 years ago now, at least a couple of years, where I was turning 60 and it's going to be 3 years this December, actually. And I was noticing lots of changes, and so I wanted to talk about it. So, I hope it helps some people just to listen to what I have to say. I want to preface it by I am not a professional on any of these topics. I merely talk from my heart, from my own experience, from my own feelings. And it seems that a lot of you can relate to it, so I've continued, all these past many months, and I'll continue tonight. So we're in the thick of this COVID-19 pandemic, and it's been, there aren't many words for it. I know that social media has been overwhelmed with content. So I'm going to keep it short. I usually do about a half hour. And tonight we're going to talk about hope. And so, everybody is experiencing a variety of emotions. I am working from home. I have been home since March 15th. March 16th, it was like the last day in work. I work at a college, and we're remote, or distance learning as they call it. So I've been working from home, just, monitoring phones and email. There really isn't much else that I can do from home. But from 8 to 4 every day, I go on my computer. I got a nice little laptop, and I just monitor the phones and return calls and check email. And I'm also in school studying professional communications because I love to talk. And I'm loving it. I'm taking a class writing for electronic media, and it covers the gamut from news, hard news, to social media, public relations, advertising, all the different modalities. So it's keeping me busy, thank God. And so what gives us hope? We've never experienced anything quite like this, but we've been through 9/11. And in some ways, the feelings are similar because it starts out with, oh, something happened. Oh, this is really serious. Oh, wow. Okay. It's just sort of this rollout of feelings and shock, and then acceptance, and then changing behavior, and then a little bit of like fear and anxiety and sleeplessness and restlessness. And although during 9/11 it was the opposite, everybody was going out to be with people, to connect, and now we're asked to socially distance. But what's similar are a lot of the feelings that we're having. And hope is one of them. Hope for a good outcome. I mean, that's like the definition of hope, is wishing for something that you hope has a great outcome, a positive outcome. And so much of this is it's such a mystery. There's, like I said, we're absolutely bombarded with information. I mean, I know now we're going into like a third week, and I've had to turn the news off. I mean, I just cannot watch it to the degree that I was the first 2 weeks, first like week and a half especially. I was gripped. I couldn't turn it off. And although a lot of new information is coming out, there are so many different ways to find out about it other than the television. Certainly social media. I mean, it's all over Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn even, Instagram. I'm on Instagram now a little more than I was, so kind of enjoying that. But you might hear Ward in the background calling one of our kitties, Dee Dee, who's pregnant. That's hopeful. New life coming in this spring, well, we're in the spring, but coming like, she'll probably give birth at the end of this month. So, staying hopeful, that's a hard one, but we really have no choice. I mean, we have to stay hopeful. And I think if we all collectively stay hopeful, this can have a really good outcome. I think Governor Cuomo's done a wonderful job here in New York. He seems to have taken a leadership position. I think it's really great. He's a feisty guy, you know, but so is our president. You know, I think everybody's really trying their best. I think this is something, and I don't want to get political at all. So I think it's just something that they're really trying their best. And Dr. Fauci and, you know, all the people at the CDC, look, there's a lot of good we can say, there's a lot of bad we can say, but we're talking about being hopeful. That's the subject tonight. So I can go from feeling great, and like I said, thank God I'm really occupied with schoolwork. I think it's been a saving grace. My garden. So there's been 3 things that have been keeping me really hopeful. School, which they've canceled graduation. Not that I'm graduating. I'll probably graduate in a couple of years. I only have major courses that I have to take now, but getting my bachelor's degree finally. Yay. But schoolwork, my garden. This is such a gorgeous time of year. And, you know, I've taken walks, although some people are like, you really shouldn't be doing that. Well, you know what? I'm not going far. I'm telling you, I live near some pretty gorgeous areas. So I'm just taking walks and looking at the flowers and the birds. And there have been a couple of amazing, amazing moon and Venus sun settings last month. And I have a view right out my living room window. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's keeping me very hopeful. School, garden, nature, and music. I don't think there's anything better. And I love all kinds of music, you know. I love jazz. I love house music. I love pop. You know, it's going to be really good. I love R&B and soul, and I love some hip-hop, blues. I love it all. Some folk. I mean, there's some really great music out there, and there's some really great DJs that are posting their playlists on Facebook and Instagram. A DJ I discovered recently, although he's not new, is D Nice. It's been very cool, bringing me back to my house days in Manhattan that I will never stop thinking about. So what keeps you hopeful? You know, there's some great music. So let's start with that. So Pat Metheny, D Nice, Joe Henderson, great jazz sax player. We just lost Ellis Marsalis, piano player. Pat Metheny just came out with a great new album that is phenomenal, inspired by movie soundtracks. Never get enough of Pat. He's probably one of my all-time favorites. Little Sade, I would love some new stuff by her. So, you know, discovering music. Music is transcending. You know, you know, sometimes I'll lay in bed at night, I'll put my headphones on and just go into another world. Makes you feel so good. My sisters and I, we all love music, so we exchange a lot of stuff. And when I used to go down to South Beach a lot, and the lounges down there, and went to music conference, I became a really big house music fan. So my sister Dottie, who lives down there, and I'll send, playlists back and forth of really great house music. But then we also love jazz, and we've been going back and forth with that too. So that's really hopeful. And something that occurred to me today when I was out checking the garden was that, nature doesn't know hoping for something. It just is. It knows exactly when to blossom. I mean, every year, I'm amazed when I look at my garden and I see things come back every year, and they're bigger and better every year, that's hopeful, because we can be bigger and better every year, every day. Every day. Some days you don't feel like doing anything. I get it. I'm there with you. But most days and especially now, we have to stay hopeful. I like I said earlier, there's this roller coaster of emotions. One minute you're great and you feel happy, and, I've been cooking great meals too. And there have been some great live feeds. Pam Betty's one. Melissa, I'm not going to even try and pronounce your last name. A couple of girls they have cooking shows, and it's been really, I mean, honestly, I am not bored. There's a lot of really great stuff going on. I've had a couple of meditation sessions online, exercise sessions online. In many ways, this has really, yoga. My friend Karen, I couldn't take it though. I woke from a nap and I just wasn't ready to jump on board, but I will. But there are so many really, really great things that we can stay hopeful for about during this time, because although it feels like life has stopped in its tracks, it hasn't. It continues virtually. I mean, technology has been phenomenal during this time. People are using Zoom. I've gotten on a couple of networking events on Zoom. My friend Carolina Luna, she's amazing, this force to reckon with. She's a branding expert, so when this is all said and done, she can take photographs of you, and a website. So I'm giving her a plug. If you need any more information about her, just call me or PM me. I'll get it to you. So there is some amazing women out there doing some really cool stuff. She's the same gal that I do the drum circles with down on the beach in the summer. Entrepreneur personified, just looking for ways to make it happen. So again, there's so much to keep us hopeful during this time, because although life as we knew it kind of has stopped, it's continued in, online, and it's just been pretty phenomenal, how everybody has jumped on board to engage in that way. And so it's just a different mindset. It's a switch of, attitude and the way we normally function. And I think a lot of it is going to continue once we get back to life as we knew it, and we start getting more social again. So that's been really amazing. So, music and the garden and the sky, the sunsets. I've been taking walks, just listening to things. Right now, my little stray cat just jumped up on the windowsill. There's so much beauty in this time to keep us hopeful, to keep us going. I find I'm even talking softer. I do not miss the busyness, and I don't want to go back to it. I really don't. And I'm not going to. I'm going to make some adjustments. I think that nature knew that we needed a shift. I'm not sure where this virus came from. I don't even want to, we know where it started, apparently, but I don't even want to speculate. Was it man-made? Was it God? It doesn't matter. This is where we're at. So we have to deal with it, and we're dealing with it. And by all accounts, it seems people are doing pretty well. Like I said, I don't think a lot of really clever, smart people have skipped a beat They've jumped on board, and you know, a lot of us had these communities discovered before this happened, so we just shifted. You know, I love meditation and yoga and um, all kinds of interesting stuff. You know, so I've made that shift pretty easily. So whatever keeps you hopeful, I hope that um, there's a real great outcome here for all of us. I know 7 o'clock at night, New York City's been doing shouting, ringing of the bells. You know, I've heard some horns and just amazing, amazing celebration at 7 o'clock in New York for all the first responders and healthcare workers. And I want to give a really big shout out to people who are continuing to work. We've lost a lot of people. It's affected the healthcare workers now, the grocery store workers, a couple of jazz greats have died. It's really, really starting to hit home. So we have to stay hopeful for them. And if you start feeling sorry for yourself and, you know, just think, hey, can you lower it down there, hon? Sorry, guys. I think he's on a phone call, so I apologize. But yeah, think of the poorest of the poor who are going to really be affected. I'll be right back. I'm just going to close that door. This is what happens when you live with someone. So, yeah, if you start feeling sorry for yourself, don't. There are so many people who are really, really suffering. Really suffering. And some are not going to come back from it. Meaning, if they survive, financially devastated, emotionally devastated. I mean, it occurred to me the other night, what about people who have children that are special needs and they go to I don't know, a center every day, right? A workshop. And there's some really great programs like that, you know, on the island and the city, all over. And now they're home. And now the parents have to take care of them. What are they going through? What about relationships that weren't doing that well? And it was so great to get out, you could escape it, and now you can't. Anyway, let's stay hopeful. That's what I'm gonna do. So, I thought it would be a happier conversation when I did this last month. I thought we'd be talking about Easter. You know, everything is canceled. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is that my church, I watched Mass yesterday on their website. It was great. I mean, the only thing you couldn't do was receive, but it was really terrific. Did a full Mass right online. So, no excuse to not stay engaged, to stay hopeful. The only thing I haven't done is recorded some new music. But it's not over. So maybe Ward and I will get to do that too. Haven't performed in a long time. That's okay. Got enough going on. But I want to get back to music. So I'm going to end this tonight as that gorgeous sun is going down, and enjoy your beautiful evening. Make yourself a nice dinner. Maybe you've eaten already. I'm in the middle of cooking, so I'm going to get back to that. And stay hopeful. You know, there's a mystical force out there all the time working in our favor. There really is. It's an all-knowing. We know this. We know this. That's why nature is so perfect. Because God is nature and God is us. So we're going to be okay. It might take a while to readjust, but I'm hoping that we'll be great, even better, because I think some behavior is going to shift. So I'm sending love. I'm sending prayers for all of those who have lost lives, people that know someone that died, a relative, a family member, you know, a friend, a coworker, and all the nurses, doctors, first responders, everyone, policemen, firemen, cooks, because some restaurants are still open for takeout, grocery workers, any, you know, essential employees. Thank you. Thank you. And hopefully next month, the first Monday of May, I'll be talking and we'll be getting back to our lives. We'll see. Stay hopeful. I love you. Till next month. Stay well.